All right, we are live. Hello, hello, hello. What is happening?
It's showtime.
If you are new here, please subscribe, thumb up the video, share everywhere, including your YouTube community tab, comment in the comment section, please, and thank you. If you're returning, welcome home. All right, so got some great things going on. Great things going on. First things first, welcome Amanda, #1 supporter. Welcome, welcome. So thank you, Amanda Kenny, #1 supporter. Theme music. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. Well, she joins us every time, so. But thank you. And also we have some gifted memberships. So thank you. And also have a donation from Amanda. Says hello from Ali. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Doing the jam thing. I appreciate it. Thank you. So we have Michael Sullivan. Thank you for being a channel member and joining us. He's giving out 5 memberships. I appreciate it. And also Amanda Kenny donating and also giving out 5 memberships herself. It's almost like a competition. Let's give out the memberships, and I like it. Thank you for gifting the memberships. I wish I could do it myself, but I can't. So thank you, both Amanda and Mike, for gifting the channel memberships. If you received a membership, and I'm talking about you, so 4456, 1903, 4197, Jim Mundy, and Rick Costa, and also Joe R. Grib, Saint 94, Kimberly, Babs, Rousey 7540, probably butchered your names. I'm sorry if I did, but make sure you all thank them for giving you the membership, because this is a member chat, so you'll be able to chat today in this live stream. So what's going on? Red Star 24, thank you for being a channel member. Hello, Amanda says, we love and support our great family. Yes. And just kind of doing a side note, so Amanda can tell you, and so can Mike, and maybe even Red Star 24, not really sure, but 2025, it was a desert waiting for season 4. So the end of 2024 and 2025, when the announcement was made that there wasn't going to be a From season 4 until 2026, it was like, oh man, we ain't gonna make it. Yeah. Yeah, we weren't going to make it, but we all got through this thing together. And I appreciate the channel member support, the regular subscriber support. I appreciate everyone who has watched ads without skipping, became a channel member, maintained a membership. Also, those who have gotten a YouTube premium membership to skip ads, thank you. Those who donated by super thanks, that was Amanda and Mike and others. Also, thank you for those who donated by super chat. People have even donated by Cash App. That's $Spade Parkland. And if you haven't done all that, no pressure. If you didn't do it and you can't do it, that's cool. Even if you don't want to do it, that's cool. At least thumb up the video, comment in the comment section, share everywhere, including your YouTube community tab. And if watching on a cell phone and see the hype button, click and hype me up. I need to start back doing the hype commercials for videos, because people have forgotten. But thank you for everybody who has supported. No matter how you have supported, I appreciate it. All right, so first order of business. There have been a lot of people who have somewhat been against the idea of Henry being more than just a regular person. They say when the boy in white came and talked to Tabitha, Henry was not looking at the boy in white, or they said, I don't believe Henry could see and hear the boy in white. We're going to go through the scene again. We're going to go through it together. So this is Henry looking at Tabitha. He's looking at Tabitha. Tabitha's talking. And remember, Henry was saying, not if you're dead.
Not if you're dead.
So this is that scene. This is season 4, episode 3. So not if you're dead. So Henry's in front of the hole of the faraway tree, preventing Tabitha from going through and answering the question, will she go back to the lighthouse or end up somewhere else? Henry's looking at Tabitha. Then Tabitha looks over and sees the boy in white. Henry looks over as well. He just looks like, what is Tabitha looking at? And then he's curious. He's looking and he sees the boy in white. This is Henry looking and not looking around like, what are you looking at? He is looking at something. He's looking at the boy in white. And then as Tabitha starts walking, Henry is walking beside Tabitha. Walking beside Tabitha. They're going to walk together, like shoulder to shoulder. And while they're doing that, Henry is looking directly at Vox Smith, who is the boy in white. Henry is looking right at him. Does not break contact. Does not look around like, Tabitha, what are you looking at? Henry is walking down, looking at the boy in white. So I'm going to take that off. So as Tabitha is talking to the boy in white, the actor who plays Henry, he does kind of glance over to the side, maybe looking at cue cards. While Tabitha is speaking, he looks at Tabitha and then glances back and looks at the boy in white. Henry's not looking around like, what are you looking at? I don't see anything. Henry doesn't even interrupt Tabitha talking to the boy in white. She doesn't even interrupt that exchange. It's a scene where the actor who plays Henry does not have any lines. And normally when an actor or actress does not have any lines, they just look at who is speaking unless they are supposed to not look at who is speaking for whatever reason. Maybe they're doing non-verbal acting. Maybe they're looking at something else. But Henry is looking right at Vox Smith. So hopefully this cleared this up as far as, I don't think Henry was looking at the boy in white. I think he was looking somewhere else. At this point, if you believe that Henry, who looks like he's looking right at, Vox Smith, who plays the boy in white, if you're thinking that Henry couldn't be looking there and Henry it's just looking in the distance for whatever reason, that's on you at this point. That's on you. I'm not gonna battle with anyone else as far as that. And there was some other stuff that I saw. So if you dispute something or refute, or you believe you're refuting something, or you just don't believe it to be true, or we agree or disagree, unless you give me a season, an episode, and a timestamp, or at least a timestamp on the episode that I'm referencing, I more than likely am not going to reply. I'm going to just let something rock, because some people are kind of like contrarian, or they're just trolling, and they're like, oh, I disagree that the boy in white pushed Tabitha out of the lighthouse. Some people, they look at the thumbnail, look at the title, they respond, they don't watch the video. So yeah, I'm going to just pretty much continue to ignore those or just respond, but I'm not going to put it in a video, especially when I've put in a video laying out my claim. So we got some people in the chat. So Grib says, thank you for the membership. Yes. And so Rouse7388 agrees with me. Henry is sus. Some people believe, I don't think Henry is suspect. I don't think he's bad or anything. And it's like, well, it's up to you as far as that. But he could, in my opinion, based off what we just saw, he could see and hear the boy in white. Whereas when Boyd was in the forest with Sarah, season 1, episode 10, Boyd could not see or hear the boy in white. Sarah was able to perceive the boy in white and told Boyd to get in the tree. Okay. So Henry is different than every other, I'm going to say, character, because he can perceive the boy in white. Now, it could be argued maybe the boy in white is unable to hide as well whenever he wants to talk to someone because he's getting older, maybe he's getting weaker or something. That could be the case. But in that scene, until we get more information like season 4 on out, Henry is different. Henry is different than someone who could be considered a regular character with no ability like Boyd. I mean, the only ability that Boyd has right now is plot armor, and he is the number 1 guy. But outside of that, Henry is, he's definitely different.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah. See, Sarah agrees. All right, so hello everybody that's come in. Yeah, member only chat. So we are rocking and rolling. Okay, so Red Star says she's been a silent watcher since 24-25. Okay. Thank you for coming out the clouds. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
I didn't realize you'd left a note.
Right.
I'm sure they'll be just fine.
All right, I think that's everybody else. So what's going on, Red Star 24? Everybody else who's watching from the clouds, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, I appreciate it. All right, so we're going to be going through the trailer for season 4, episode 4 of Myths and Monsters. So on the Spade Parkland TV YouTube channel, we did go over a spoiler trailer. So some stuff in this trailer and episode have already been put out there. And I'll go over it again. And when we redirect to Spade Parkland TV, and then if you all want to, we can do a panel. So have in your mind and think, do you want to do a panel? Do you want a panel? And when I say that, I mean, do you want a panel with me? So if you're like, I like to hear a panel, let me know. If you're like, I want to come up on the panel, let me know. But we'll do that. This is the pre-show. We'll do that after the show on Spade Parkland TV, and then maybe we'll do a panel like we did the other day when I was testing out equipment, and we had a really good panel. And that's where I think it was Red Star 24 came up, and we had a good chat. All right, so we're going to go over this trailer of Myths and Monsters. Let's do it.
You go on this little trip, you know you may not come back, right?
Yeah.
That thing I carried inside me. He feels how afraid I am. He likes it.
It's nice to see you again.
Whatever's wrong with me, what if I pass it on to someone else and then the voices start torturing them?
We came in a car just like the rest of us. And when everyone died, I saw him. He was eating them.
Okay, he was eating some of them. So we already know that he was munching on stuff. So no big deal. So if you've been on the Spade Parkland TV YouTube channel, we've already kind of went over a lot of this stuff, and even the thumbnail kind of has given away stuff. And Amazon's press website, they put out a picture that pretty much lets us know who Julie was talking to in the trailer when she was saying this place is impossible. So they've already have given us a lot from the trailers and the press stuff. So we're going to be happy to see the episode, but not really just surprised too much. And so the picture I'm talking about from Amazon is right here. So this is who Julie was talking to when Julie had the book in the trailer that we saw. I think it was back in March. So Julie was talking to Randall, and I think Randall's going to be her scene partner for majority of the season. And Ethan's going to be maybe the scene partner for Victor, maybe Jade. But definitely, well, maybe not Jade, but definitely at least Victor or Tabitha, because we saw Ethan in the cabin with Tabitha when the Scarecrow busted in like Kool-Aid. So this behind the scenes picture has been put out there as far as a press photo. So we already have our answer as far as that. So we're going to go through the Of Myths and Monsters again and see if there's anything that has been put out that we haven't already discussed. So Amanda says this family is the best. Yes, it is. So Raul says, so is The Boy in White a different chapter? I don't know how to answer that. The Boy in White does look different because he's getting older. And it's funny because they had Tabitha say to the Boy in White, why do you look so different? Which kind of echoes what Victor said the last season. And I think that's the show's way of poking fun at the fact that Vox Smith is getting older and he's going through a growth spurt. They probably would do the same thing with Ethan, maybe next season or something, if Ethan goes through a growth spurt. So Joyce84 says, I've avoided the trailer till this morning. Day before it airs is okay by me. Okay. All right, so let's do it again. So this time we're going to go slow-mo, no volume. So I imagine that Jade is on he's on the mushroom and he's got Boyd out there. I don't know. I'm just going off of what I'm thinking and what I'm seeing. I think Jade is going off the mushroom and Boyd's going to be out there to kind of monitor him. And that's what it looks like is going on. Yeah, Jade is out of it. So he's probably going through that. And so this is probably before Jade decides to mushroom it up. And Donna's like, you may leave and not come back because, I mean, sometimes when people get under the influence of stuff, they don't come back the same way. And Jade is like, yeah, I know, but I got to do this. I have to unlock this stuff. So this is probably while Jade is on the trip, if you will, and he sees a younger version of himself. So now we know, I mean, the kid's got a violin in his hand, so probably a younger version of Jade. And so we know that in the trailer that we saw, I think it was March, where we saw the kid with the blue shirt in the cave system that seemed like Jade was following the kid. That is more than likely a younger version of Jade. And we can also tell because of violin and the bow. Okay. Are we going too slow? Okay, this is Fatima, so let me make sure my head's out the way so you can see. So now we get a better picture of what she was making, and we have what appears to be water. I guess this is to hold the water. I think she's making some type of ritual. This is a mound of dirt that she's turned into mud. It could be... Now, I thought she was doing a ritual. She could just be doing some artwork. Have you ever seen the movie Ghost? Now, I know you're not going to... I mean, this may be a stretch or a yoga stretch, but have you seen the movie Ghost, where they had the pottery scene where the ghost and... I think it was Patrick Swayze and I forgot who I think the woman was Demi Moore. I don't know. Don't shoot me if I got the actress's name wrong, who was the woman. But they were basically doing the pottery thing in the beginning of the movie. And then, like, when he was a ghost, they did the pottery thing. I think Fatima is just doing some pottery. She's going to tell Boyd that she's doing some pottery stuff. But I'm hoping that this is more than just pottery stuff. And it more than likely it is, because I imagine that Fatima would have not elicited the help of Elgin to get dirt just to do pottery stuff. I think she's going to tell Boyd, I'm just doing artwork. It's just pottery. I'm just trying to work through what was going on in me. But in actuality, I think Fatima is going to do something similar to what she saw in her vision. That's what my belief is for that. That's what my belief is. So Fatima's doing pottery stuff. And I think people are going to leave her alone when they hear something to the effect of that I'm working out some stuff. So that's what I believe is going on with that.
Go crazy, go crazy. Ooh.
So Joyce84 says, never actually sat down and watched Ghost widely enough. Well, they do have YouTube videos that will sum it up for you. I'm not going to spoil it because it's actually a really good movie if people like supernatural mixed with romantic comedy, also known as a rom-com. And then Whoopi Goldberg, she's in it. It's got a lot of classic lines that people have said in other movies. So it's definitely a treat and worth seeing if you like a romantic comedy that's mixed in with supernatural stuff. So Joyce84 says, settling in, trying to establish healthy routines. Okay. So Bray is saying she's building what they showed her with the kimono woman during birth. Okay. Is that a theory or a spoiler? So, I mean, I just kind of said it. That's what I believe is going on, is that whatever she was shown while being pregnant, I think for the remainder of the season, I think this is what it is. Like she's basically building what she was shown in the images, and she's been withholding information on purpose because Boyd, Ellis, Christy, and others didn't believe that she was pregnant. And it's almost like she doesn't really want to share with them because Fatima's going through what a lot of SA survivors experience, where they become withdrawn from people, especially when people did not believe them at first or didn't completely believe them, but then they may be later vindicated, like going through trial and there's like DNA evidence and all that, or conviction. So Fatima's basically going through moving forward, and this is her way to sort out moving forward and even accepting. And that's the reason why she warmed up to Ellis as opposed to lashing out at him like she did episode 1 of season 4. And I think Elgin kind of helped her process and work through that, just being present, not judging her and not giving her any type of weird faces, especially when Fatima was explaining to them, or kind of like communicating with them while she was in bed. You all didn't believe me. You all didn't believe me. And then as Boyd was explaining what came out of Fatima, Fatima was vindicated. And just, I guess the fact that Elgin basically was kind of like believing her from the get-go. And then you could even argue that Fatima could be going through some type of Stockholm syndrome. I think Fatima's going to be more open to Elgin and telling him exactly what's going on. And in my opinion, I think Fatima has started to mentally detach and separate herself. I wouldn't be surprised if Fatima somewhat starts kind of behaving in a way where she's divorced from Ellis. I don't know. I don't want that. But I imagine that's kind of what Fatima's going to be doing, is detaching herself from Ellis in a way to where she's no longer his wife. Yeah, so there's that. So Red Star 24 says, in the opening sequence, K Sarah Sarah, one of the scenes is of all the Ellis paintings in front of the window, her story has stayed tied to art, hope. Yep. So Joyce is saying, I sat here for a minute and was like, that doesn't sound right. I don't know what it doesn't sound right. Okay, it's a sidebar. Okay. So sidebar. Joyce says she gets it. Okay. All right, so I think that's what's going on with Fatima in the scene. We'll see once we see the actual episode. Yep. Boyd's just nodding his head, yeah. Fatima's kind of... Yeah, Fatima looks like she done been through some stuff because she has. And this is Smiley, so this is what she's referencing. So I was hoping and thinking that Smiley would be different since he came out of Fatima. Maybe Fatima got a piece of Smiley and a piece of her went into Smiley. I guess it's not going to be the case this season, and that we just basically have Smiley with different clothes. Hey, Kenny, it was good to see you. And so what's funny about... Well, not really funny, but... I think the reason why Smiley did that is that, remember, Smiley's the one that took out Kenny's dad. He wasn't there in the scene when taking out Tien Shin Lu, but Smiley's the one that took out Kenny's dad. So Smiley's kind of got a connection with Kenny, and that might be what it is when we saw in that trailer with Smiley transforming at nighttime and the hotel light was on him. And then we also saw Kenny out there as well. Kenny might be getting some revenge against Smiley going after his dad. And I think to a certain extent, it may be Smiley who might say something like, it was I who came up with the plan to get get the animals or livestock out of the barn to get your mom in the first place. Even though Smiley was still dead at that point, he may reveal, I'm the one that came up with the plan before I died. Because the way Smiley came out and confronted Boyd during season 2, when Boyd gave Smiley the worms, it seemed like Smiley was the leader. It seemed like Smiley was like the man. And I guess with him returning and there's no monsters with him, he might return back to being the man or the monster or the leader. You know what's crazy? So Smiley still got the blood and stuff on him, and they done found him some new clothes. That's his dedication to being a monster, is that I'm not going to clean myself up, but I am going to get dressed and get decent.
Oh my God!
So Smiley is making sure that he's decent before going back to being a monster. Good for him. Good for you, Smiley. All right, so this is Sophia in yellow. Sophia in yellow. I'm wondering if that was her, I think, praying. I'm wondering if Sophia is going to be able to control the voices, hear the voice. Well, she's the man in yellow. So I'm wondering, can she control the voices? Is she one of the voices, or are the voices telling her something about Sophia? Because if the voices are telling Sarah something about Sophia, that would be a really good game changer as far as exposing Sophia. Because Julie's story walking, Julie's basically going to episodes or scenes that have already taken place, and we're just seeing her before a scene starts or a part of the scene that wasn't visible to us, the audience. So Julie's story walking so far seems to be a cool feature, but not a game changer. However, the voices that have communicated stuff to Sarah, such as telling Sarah that Fatima will not be found in time, or that the music box monster was laughing at Boyd when Boyd brought it back to town. Stuff like that, even though it's vindictive and it's heinous and it's considered insidious, it does give information that somewhat can be used. So I'm wondering, will the same thing be with Sarah and the voices? Will the voices say, ha ha ha, he walks among you, you will never find him? And then Sarah can talk to Boyd and say, he walks among us. And then Boyd somehow has a conversation about this yellow suit, the man in yellow suit. Victor comes in, puts his piece down. Maybe Julie mentions, oh, I saw a dude eating people. And then they kind of put everything together that someone in town is not who they claim to be, like the body snatchers. Only issue I have is that even though it was cool to get future Julie to go back and kind of try to save Jim, remember, future Julie had to go back and try to save Jim. So it must be so bad with Julie and her obsession that her story walking just focuses on trying to save Jim, and we know it doesn't happen. Because if it happened, we would have seen it happen already. It wouldn't be a future Julie coming to the main timeline of season 3, episode 10 to try to save Jim from dying if she had been successful before being the future Julie that came back. And I hope that doesn't sound confusing. It probably does sound confusing, but make a long story short, just getting someone from the future to go back to the past to try to do something and they fail more than likely means that Julie's going to try to do it over and over and over again and not have any type of success with it. So Julie's story walking is just a cool feature, but not really going to be a game changer. I think Sarah and the voices, even though the voices are against Sarah and everybody in the township, I think that is what's going to be the thing to hopefully or maybe help them discover that the man in yellow is not a man, but a woman in yellow. So Joy says, then again, that feels like the plot of a couple dozen Doctor Who. Uh-oh. Okay, so, okay. So Joyce84 says, it was rather jarring watching him get dressed. Yeah. I think people could have went without that, but, you know, every now and then we get a little slop out there.
After seeing all the slop out there online about it and just people having...
Oh, right. So Mike says, whoa, my creature, I've hungered for your smile. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so Amanda says we need a poll. What do we need a poll about? All right, so... Mike says it'll be such a missed opportunity if he's not somewhat different. Yeah, I think so. Okay. So Joyce84 says, I want a poll. Is Fatima breaking or is she going to persevere? Okay, we could do a poll. We could do a poll if people want to poll it up. So Joyce wants a poll. Let's see. Is Fatima breaking or is she going to persevere? Joyce wants a poll. She's getting a poll. So unfortunately, Google would not let you be great. It's doing a bunch of spell check, but there it is. So there's the poll. I mean, if people maybe there's more people who are going to doubt Fatima's going to have a positive impact because she's breaking mentally. I personally think that because Fatima is being constructive with her time, even though it's secretive and only her and Elgin know the truth, I think Fatima's going to be a value add. I also think the same thing as far as Acosta. If Acosta can be constructive with organizing the storage, aka lost and found in the colony house, I think it would be a value add because the best thing to do is to keep busy. So I think if people stay busy, keep busy, and they're doing something that is not a danger to themselves and other, it'll be a plus. All right, so this is the voices with Sarah. Sarah's breaking down. You know, poor Sarah. Sarah just invited Sophia into her home, trying to be nice, and Sarah's having an episode and has no idea who she's having an episode with. Well, think about it. Imagine if Sarah's having an episode, right? Remember, Sophia is able to touch somebody and control them, like she did with the priest in the vehicle. Imagine if Sophia takes this opportunity while Sarah is vulnerable, touches Sarah, and Sophia controls her and is like telling her, hey, let's go have some fun, and then makes Sarah do horrible things to make people not like her even more. That would be a horrible situation. So we'll see how this scene plays out. Does Sophia take this time to take advantage and use her little touch power to control Sarah? Or Will the voices perhaps give Sarah a hint to Sophia in yellow? I guess we'll find out. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Do you all think that Sarah's voices are going to give Sarah a heads up, Sophia in yellow, a man in yellow and all that? Or do you think that Sophia, being deceptive and deceitful, is going to reach out and touch somebody and make Sarah's life even harder than what it is? Yeah, you all might think I'm crazy, but I'm kind of hoping that the voices give Sarah a heads up, and I don't really want to see anything bad happen to Sarah. So I'm hoping that Sophia does not take advantage and leave Sarah alone. That's what I'm hoping. So Restar 24 says, I definitely think Fatima is going to help them get home, but I don't know if she'll be a survivor. Will people make it out of season 4? Or season 5? I think a lot of people are going to end up sacrificing themselves or losing their lives. Left and right. All right, let's keep going. Sarah's going through it. Oh, y'all see that little gesture that Sophia did? Let me see if there's something there, or am I overthinking? Okay, you see the little hand come out. Now, this hand could be used to just touch Sarah, and it looks like Sophia has the look of, I'm going to take advantage before the voices tell on me. Yeah, but it doesn't look like that might happen. Uh-oh, but there's a little hint. It's a blink and you miss it. Her hand, if you pay attention to her hand right here, and I could be completely wrong, but if you look at her hand, it looks like she goes from the hand being down. Let's look at it again. All right, so the hand gets put on her knee to brace herself, to balance herself, okay? But then the hand seems to kind of come up a little bit as if she's going to touch Sarah. So we'll see this Sunday. Will she reach out and touch and try to control? Or is she just going to act genuinely concerned? Yeah, not looking too good for Sarah. Not looking too good for Sarah.
No.
Yeah, it's not looking too good for Sarah.
No.
All right. So looking at the poll. So out of 15 votes, I don't think anybody else is going to vote. Maybe, I'll leave it up. But out of 15 votes so far, 53% say yes, Fatima is breaking. You know what? It can't really be yes or no for that. I got to end the poll. So it can't be yes or no because there's an or in there. So I'll redo the poll. So I'll instead have the question. I could change it from yes or no. I'll still keep it yes or no, but the new poll is Fatima going to help the township like she used to? That way it could be yes or no. It won't be confusing like it was before. What's going on, Michelle Williams? Welcome. How are you? I thought, wait a minute. That's odd. I went through and redid the moderators last night. I thought, oh, well. So this is not anything against you. But you've been modded. I could have sworn I did all the, remodded everybody. But if you look at that hand, the hand kind of looks like it's going to come up and reach out and touch. You see how it lifts up from her knee? So it could be her just still balancing, but it could also be reaching out and touching Sarah. If this is the case and she controls Sarah and makes Sarah do evil things, this is going to be horrible for us who are Sarah fans. Yeah, that hand is coming up, y'all. That hand is coming up. And so Sarah's talking about passing the voices on to someone else. Can you do that? Let's do normal speed. Can Sarah do that? Pass on voices? Is that a thing?
What's wrong with me? What if I pass it on to someone else and then the voices start torturing them?
Can she pass the voices on? What? What? What is going on? Pass on the voices?
Oh my God!
What? Okay, so I guess there's a possibility to pass on some voices. So if anything, I think Sarah, if Sarah's gonna pass on the voices, Sarah needs to pass the voices on to Boyd. Here's why it should be Boyd. Boyd seems to be the most level-headed person, and I think, in my opinion, Boyd has a stronger will than Sarah. I think Boyd will hear the voices and he could use information to get stuff done. Maybe that's the reason why we see Boyd. I saw it in one of the trailers. This might be the reason why we have Boyd hammering the wall of the root cellar. That could be the thing. Like, he could be guided by the voices to hammer the wall. You know what? Let me see if I get a better picture than that. So I put it on the thumbnail. Let's see. That would be awesome if that's what we have is. Okay, so this is the thumbnail for Parkland Media TV. We're going to go over there. And, Spade Parkland TV YouTube channel. But yeah, this is from the trailer that we saw. Boyd is going to be hammering the root cellar wall with a sledgehammer. There's something behind the wall, and whatever's behind the wall may be what Jade told Boyd that Jade found out in the mushroom trip. I don't know, but I imagine that's what it is. There's something. It looks like it's the root cellar wall. There's something behind the wall that can be used to benefit the township. So we'll see. So that would be a good way of getting them to an advantageous position if Sarah passes on the voices to someone and Boyd is chosen, and then now Boyd is hammering away at the root cellar wall to get information. Or maybe that's the church's wall. Maybe that's the church basement. Let me look at the church basement right for a moment. Hopefully you all don't mind if I look at this good old church basement. Because it might not be the root cellar, that might be the church basement. And if it's a church basement, that'd be awesome, because when you think about it, what is the whole purpose of that building? I mean, I had my theories that maybe it's like former slave quarters or something, but people were calling it the church because I believe that Father Kotri was using it as like a place of worship, but it's unknown exactly. Okay, so looking at this and then bringing this up, so it could be the church basement, y'all. Because it's the same material. What do you all think? I mean, not the same material, but it looks as if it's the same pattern. So I could be wrong. It could be the church's basement that he's knocking down, just because it looks similar to the same kind of pattern. It's just the, yeah, it could be the church basement. Let me pull up the root cellar room to see, is that something that was behind Fatima? Let's see. You know what? Okay, it could be either one, y'all. I don't know. It's looking like it could be either one, because looking at this scene with when Fatimo's in the root cellar, it could be either one. So it looks more like the root cellar than the church. Which one do y'all think? Let me shrink this down and make it easier to see. So sorry. Okay, so we're going to end the poll. Is Fatima going to help the township like she used to? Out of 12 votes, 75% say yes. Okay. So the next one for the poll is not going to be yes or no this time. First option is going to be church, root cellar. The question is, which wall is Boyd knocking into with a sledgehammer? All right. I want to hear what y'all have to say, what y'all believe. I think it's the root cellar as opposed to a church. They both have the same pattern, but the reason why... Oh, okay, the poll started. Thought I had already started it. So the reason why I believe that it could be the roof cellar, and it could be the basement of any building, including Colony House. So I don't know. But based off of this grainy picture that we have, it kind of appears that it's kind of the same pattern and has like the, maybe that's a cement in between the stones. And it seems like it's kind of the same cement in between the stones right here. So that's why I'm thinking that it is the root cellar and not the church, which if there's more light in the church, maybe it looks the same way. But I imagine that, and this picture of this church basement is with the door opened that goes from the first floor before you go to the steps. So there is light there. And I imagine that the light of where Boyd is using the sledgehammer is equivalent to the root cellar light. So that's why I'm thinking they're one and the same. But it could be any building's basement. I imagine they were all constructed by the same person or people, same materials. They all could look the same. But my vote right now, until we see the episode when this happens, is that Boyd is hammering away at the root cellar, and maybe there's something behind a wall that can give them an advantage to help them go after or do something with the monsters, or maybe even the man in yellow. Because there is a door right here, and this door may be where, I mean, it appears to be a door. That may be the door where you first enter into the root cellar. Let's see if I can get that image or that angle of when, okay. So it is not the door of the root cellar. So we're figuring this out in real time, y'all. So it can't be the door to the root cellar because the root cellar door is red. So it can't be the root cellar door. So, okay, so root cellar is out. So if you picked root cellar, you might be wrong. Because we do see what appears to be a wooden door right here, or it looks like a wooden door. Let me pull up the root cellar again. But then again, that could not be the root. That could be, instead of the door, that could be maybe the wooden part of the root cellar right here, or maybe it's a different area of the root cellar. Maybe it's right here, or maybe it's the wall where the corpse was found when Elgin first came in. I'm going root cellar. What do y'all think? Let's see. So 70% pick root cellar. You know what? Root cellar, final answer. Team root cellar for the win. out of these two options of roof cellar and church basement. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Now, so there's people who believe that it could be the church. I think there are no wrong answers. We don't know. We don't know. All right, so maybe it is Colony House basement since Acosta is supposed to be clearing it. Could be. That would make sense. Amanda makes a great point. Let me see if I have any Colony House pictures. I can't really guarantee that we have good Colony House pictures. So I may have to pull up the episode. Let me see. Do I have any Colony House pictures? As far as the basement. No. All right. Don't worry. We're gonna because that was episode 3, so uh-oh. Yeah, it could be anybody's basement. Here is Colony House. So do we need another poll for 3 options? Okay, so thank you, Amanda, for that. So it could be Colony House basement. It is the same design, same material, like I was saying. And just kind of compare it and contrast. Nope, not that picture. Not that one. Right there. All right, so no. Okay, sometimes it's an internet show, sometimes it's a comedy. Sometimes it's a comedy. All right, here we go. Here we go. So yeah, it could be Colony House's basement. It's very difficult to tell because again, this is a grainy photo, and I tried to enhance it the best I could, but just looking at it, it could be Colony House's. I mean, you know what? It would kind of make sense. I mean, there may be a part of Colony House's basement that we haven't seen. And just like Amanda was saying, that because we have Acosta clearing out the basement, making inventory and whatnot, maybe that's the what we'll end up having after she goes through and organizes stuff and moves stuff around. So here's a different angle. Yeah, so there's a different... okay, so here's a different angle. And they walked in here. And they're walking in, Acosta's looking crazy. But we see that right here, there is something... Like the camera is in like another room. Make it larger so you can see. So the camera is in another room that they're shooting this angle from, and you can tell because of this wall and then, you know, this vantage point in there. So for all we know, Acosta could go to where the camera is like shooting at them at this angle and find what Boyd ends up putting a sledgehammer to. Let's see. Okay, so this is another, let's see. So bring this back up. So the camera crew in the previous shot, they were over here to the right. But then as Boyd walks through the room, he's going right here. So here's another area back here that could be where Boyd is hammering. So let me shrink this down. Yeah, so this could be another area where Boyd, and it would make sense if Boyd is in one of those rooms, like the room that we see right here. It makes sense if Boyd is in there doing the sledgehammer, or in the room that the camera crew was just at when shooting them and is doing the hammering. And that's what he's going after as far as trying to knock down the wall and seeing what's in there. I mean, for all we know, maybe Acosta finds the blueprints for Colony House and discovers there's a room, and that's what prompts the need to want to knock this wall down to see what's back there. To me, that would make the most sense. Is Acosta finds blueprints of the buildings, and they discover that there are walls put up and there's stuff behind the walls, which let's knock down the walls and see what's back there. Okay, so going to this poll, which wall is Boyd knocking into with the sledgehammer? Well, it's looking like people saying the root cellar or church, but maybe a third option, Colony House. I mean, the way all of these basements and lower levels and everything are designed, or even the root cellar, the way it's designed, this could be any room that Boyd is hammering into. So Red Star 24 says maybe whenever Boyd is trying to get to the kimono woman's home, the monsters like to hide, sleep close to the people. Could be. So Michael Sullivan says, wasn't there a trailer with a shot of Boyd walking before the sledgehammer scene? Could be a location clue in that. So there was a scene with Boyd in what appeared to be the root cellar. Let's see. I'm going to close this down. From Maryland we go. Yeah, so for season 4, episode 3, those were like I'm going to say, really 3 different sides of the room. There really isn't anything else that we're missing for that. So let's see, a trailer. I do remember that trailer. I think that was the full trailer. That may have been the full trailer. Or it could have been one of the teasers. So what I'll do is we'll start with the full trailer and work our way to seeing that possible sledgehammer scene. Okay, so the good thing about the full trailer is I can just play it. So I think we're good to go as far as oh, you know what? Okay, let's do one thing at a time. So before we get to the sledgehammer and the trailer again, we're going to finish out the season 4, episode 3 trailer. So we don't have Sophia and Yellow praying anymore. Because we may end up going to the actual show and then kind of going through and going down rabbit holes. All right, so
me?
So Sarah's going through that. Oh, you know, I said I was gonna take it down. It's still up. Okay, I don't want to pass anything along. Is she talking to Elgin? It looks like it, but I don't know. So it looks like we're going to get what is in the pool. So because Marielle is running, I think it's reasonable to believe it's a human in there and not birds, not dogs, but a human is in the pool. What if it's Sophia in the pool? And we see Sarah running over. What if it is Sophia in the pool? What if, oh, okay, here's a theory. What if somehow Sarah passes the voices on to Sophia? I doubt it, because again, well, actually, you know what? Could be. Sarah could pass the voices on to Sophia and it's messing her up. Cause we see Sarah running, and remember, so Sophia's living with Sarah. They're in there living single. Anyway, they're in there living together, so it would make sense that Sarah is running, and it could be Sophia in the pool. And this may be, I don't want to speculate based off of this, but this may be part of the truck or vehicle. But yeah, Marielle running means it probably is a human, and because we see Sarah running, it may be Sophia in the pool, her new roommate. Yeah, so because we see Marielle running, and maybe Sarah sees something that has Sophia somewhat morph into the man in yellow accidentally because of these voices. Because, okay, just based off of this, oh, you know what? I can't. Just because we have Marielle running, we know it's got to be a human in there. And then we see Sarah by herself without Sophia, her roommate. I'm thinking it's probably Sophia in the pool. And then looking at the look that Sarah has, she sees something that's like weird, and it may be Sophia trying to keep from morphing into the man in yellow, and Sarah's like, WTF. Because it looks like Sarah doesn't look concerned. She looks more, and it's just my opinion, but she looks as if she's looking at something that's not right. This is a not right look. So we thought it was Jim. At one point, it could have been the dogs. We speculated everything could be in the pool, but what about Sophia? It would kind of make sense based off of how the story's been progressing. And then we heard Sarah say something about passing the voices on to someone else. I don't know. Could be Sophia in there. And then there's a Victor showing Henry the pictures of the man in yellow. And Victor saying that after the massacre, he was eating people. And so Julie's going to story walk, and she goes back to the massacre before young Victor came up from the root cellar. And the man in yellow is having a whole buffet. Getting his yellow suit dirty, and she's looking like WTF. Okay, so this is weird. This is weird because on first glance, it looks like this could be the boy in white because it's all white. And the way that this is drawn, this looks like it's Eloise's picture. Because when comparing what Victor has drawn, let's go to one of Victor's drawings. Okay, so here's one of Eloise's drawings right here. You see how Eloise's drawings are more like that? I mean, it's kind of hard to explain without being insulting to Eloise, but Eloise's drawings are like that, like younger, less refined, and that's kind of how it looks as far as this picture that Victor's showing Henry is. It looks like Eloise's pictures. Now let's pull up one of Victor's pictures. If I have it. Do I have it? If not, I'll just go to the opening sequence because it's got Victor's drawings there. So okay, so we'll use this one. There's a bunch of them. We'll use this one. Okay. So, you know what? I don't know if this is actually Victor's drawings. Let me find something that's in his room. Let me find something in his room. Okay, so these are Victor's actual drawings in his room. And so I'm going to take this one down because I don't... Okay, you know what? I think this is Victor's drawing right here. Because... So this is for the opening sequence right here. This is opening sequence. And it appears it is similar to this one up here. But maybe... I don't know. Maybe it's... at an angle. So I'm not sure if this is actually in his room anywhere. I don't remember. So I'm going to take this down. This is, no. We're not going to use that one. We'll use the ones that are actually in his room that we know for sure are his. Okay, so boom. And okay, you know what? I could have used this one right here. That's the one I put it as a thumbnail. But anyway, so you all see how Victor's drawings are, right? You all see how his drawings are. We're not saying that Victor is Picasso, but when Eloise was around, I'm going to leave my head cut off for right now so y'all can see the pictures better. So when Victor was around... I'm sorry. When Eloise was around, she's drawing like this. That's how she's drawing. But then look how Victor draws. Victor's more refined because he's older. So these are Victor's drawings. But then now look at... let's see. Where is that tab? Right here. So you all see how the drawing that Henry has looks similar to Eloise's. Y'all see that? They just look very similar. So that looks exactly alike, how it's all younger or whatever. So what do y'all think? What do y'all think? Okay, so I'll look at that one that Mike just posted when we do the after show in a moment. So Amanda says, I could see Sophia and Yellow planning several little big things to do to Sarah to make Sarah look even more negative while making herself look like the poor orphan damsel in distress. Yeah, so it could be Sophia in the pool doing one of those I've fallen and I can't get up situation to try to blame Sarah for something. That could be what is also going on.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so this looks like it's Eloise has done this. I mean, Eloise did this one for sure. And remember, Victor's holding Eloise's picture when he showed Tabitha Eloise's drawings in the back of Christopher's trunk. So that looks similar to what we have here. So I don't really remember. I don't think Miranda had a conversation with Eloise and said, Eloise, I'm going to the lighthouse. Eloise told Victor that Miranda was going to the lighthouse. I don't think Miranda told Eloise that. So I think that Eloise had the same kind of powers as Miranda and could see the future. So here's what I'm thinking. And this could be a stretch. It's a yoga stretch, but I think that the reason why these pictures Victor put or buried behind the peach truck and didn't put these pictures with Eloise's pictures and Christopher's trunk, because these pictures are about the future. So the pictures that Eloise made in Christopher's trunk are what Eloise was seeing at the time for the past or the present. But the pictures that Victor buried behind the peach truck when he does all the digging that we see in the trailer, these pictures are about the future. I think these are future pictures that we're looking at. So we're looking at future pictures. Or instead of just saying future pictures, Eloise saw the future and drew it. And based off of this, it's a stretch, it's a yoga stretch. But I think in seeing the future, and we'll see the rest of the pictures, that Eloise drew a picture of the man in yellow eating, and saw the man in yellow eating the boy in white. Like, this is going to be the boy in white's fate. The boy in white may have been saying, you're so close, but you're running out of time. It may be running out of time for me to be here with you. And running out of time as in, I know I'm going to die. I've already seen my fate. That could be what that is. Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think?
Slayer.
Yeah. So Mike says that would be sick. Love it. So Joyce84 photos, pictures. So Joyce84 says, future pictures. Did I say photos? Future pictures. Hopefully I didn't say photos. But yeah, I mean, it would make sense that the reason, if these were Eloise's pictures, I mean, they look just like the ones that Victor brought out of the trunk in Christopher's car. They look similar as far as style choices because Eloise is younger than Victor. It would make sense that Victor didn't want to remember Eloise, and he separated the stuff that Eloise drew of the present and the past in the trunk, but the stuff of the future that she saw, like maybe premonition or something, when she drew events that she saw of the future, he buried those separate from her in the area behind the peach truck. That's what I'm thinking this is. And we'll find out this Sunday. If that's the case, that'd be awesome. Well, it'd be bad for the boy in white, but you know, think about the conversation that Tabitha had with the boy in white. Think about that conversation.
Why are you here? Why do you look so different?
Right. Just talk plainly, and he was talking in riddles, wasn't trying to be helpful.
Okay, you need to stop talking in riddles.
Right. So, I mean, if he's talking in riddles and not being helpful, and he's pushing people out of lighthouses, and he's not really trying to conversate, and then he did tell Ethan to shush when Ethan first got into town. I mean, I feel for the boy in white, but look, bruh, you really haven't been giving us much to like you about, because you've been kind of talking to riddles. You didn't talk to Tabitha the entire season 3 when she got back. You pushed her out of a lighthouse. She popped up in Maine. You didn't pop up in Maine. Well, you were there. Then you disappeared. I mean, it's just like, you know, what are we doing? What are we doing? So, yeah, I'm going to miss him. If this happens to the boy in white, I'm going to miss him. But, yeah, it's going to, I mean, I don't think people are going to be missing much with him no longer being around. Yeah, so he better run for the hills. So Amanda says, boy in white, I won't help you, but you are running out of time. Yeah. So it could be you're running out of time because I'm going to be leaving you soon. I'm going to be someone's dinner. Maybe that's like what he should have said instead of just trying to be all secretive. So there it is. So I think that's what it is. It's a stretch. It's a yoga stretch. But I think that based off of what we see, as far as the style choice, it just looks like this is Eloise all over it. And I'm surprised she didn't put her Jane Hancock right here saying that she's the artist. So, yeah. Okay, so what if this is the final event of each massacre? Boy in yellow always being consumed by man in yellow. Could be. Now that could be a thing as well. But see, here's why. I mean, okay, let's just say the boy in white always gets consumed by the man in yellow. We saw the boy in white after Victor came up from the root cellar after the massacre, and the boy in white was there and he disappeared on a merry-go-round. So if the man in yellow ate the boy in white before that and then the boy in white reappeared, I mean, that could be a thing. Or it could be that maybe Eloise saw, you know what, I'm not going to entertain that. I'm going to entertain the idea that this is a future event and that with the township changing, seasons changing, the boy in white said everything is changing, that this change that is being experienced in the township, another change is the man in yellow finally getting the boy in white. That's what my thing would be as far as this theory and what's going on with the man in yellow and boy in white in this picture, is that this is the first time the man in yellow's eaten him and the boy in white can now be eaten because things have changed. So what do you think? What do you think? All right, so we've been here an hour. We're going to go through and see the Sledgehammer thing in the trailer. We'll do that on Spade Parkland TV YouTube channel. I'll redirect everyone. Joyce84 says, who knows? We know nothing, but maybe this is a possible outcome, not necessarily the one we're going to see. Exactly. It could be. I believe in no wrong answers or any bad answers. It's just, I think everybody can be right till we see it on the show. So I do agree with you. And Michael Sullivan says, and with his dying breath, the boy in white asks, how long is a piece of string? Okay. Okay. Okay, shots fired. I don't know what that means, but it sounds like shots fired. All right, so I'm going to redirect everyone to Spade Parkland YouTube channel, and we'll go and do the whole rabbit hole using the spoiler trailer to kind of clear some stuff up. And then we'll look at the trailer for did Boyd have a sledgehammer in his hand in the root cellar or the church, or I think it was the root cellar. Then we will look at some stuff from the email, and then Amanda has some notes, and I think it was Mita had like another video thing with questions. We'll look at that, and then maybe do a panel. So we'll do all that. So yeah. So like, share, subscribe. This is the pre-show. We're going to do the actual show after we redirect.
If you haven't done so, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like the stream, fam. That helps with the algo. And welcome all.
Yes.
Don't forget to like, sub, and share. Thank you.
Yes, please and thank you. All right, so I'm going to take... Okay, you know what? Yeah, so the rest of this is pretty much Henry having a moment. And that's pretty much the end of that. Just Henry having a moment. All right, so... So thank you. I appreciate it. All right, so I'm going to redirect everyone. Let me get that ready for you. All right, we're going to jam out a little bit until we are good to go.
It's down white, boy.